Hi guys, Dave here from vetfitnessandhealth.com, and today I've got 10 tips to lose belly fat literally overnight 24/7 without having to diet or exercise. If you do like this video guys, please like and subscribe. I'll leave some links in the description that go to my website for other tips and tricks and for this the blog to this video as well. Now, I'm a big advocate of diet and exercise. I really am, okay? But what I do get, unlike a lot of other people, is that it's not always a practical solution for everybody. Maybe Jane here, Jane who looks like she should be in prison. I'm not very good at drawing, okay? But Jane, maybe she works 14 hours a day. Maybe she's got children as well. Maybe she has a really hard day at work and she's got to spend 3 hours in traffic every day traveling to and from work. Maybe she works at home and she works just as many hours, okay? And it's not the first thing you want to do when you finish work. Okay, perhaps she starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, she doesn't want to get up at 5:30. Okay, because she's shattered from the day before. And maybe she doesn't have time at the end of the day to do exercise because she's got to collect her children. Same with Tom as well. Maybe Tom, he works away all week, he lives in a hotel, he doesn't have a gym. Maybe he's spending 14, 15 hours a day at work and all he wants to do at the end of the day is just relax because he's shattered. So diet and exercise isn't for everybody. But the good news is there are things we can do about it, okay? We can speed up our metabolism with some of these tips that I'm going to give you. Stay until the end, I'll give you a really good top tip at the end, okay? Now, one of the main reasons why we get belly fat is because our metabolism slows down, especially as we get older. I noticed it, I'm almost 50, and I have to try really hard to get rid of my belly fat, okay? It's becoming harder and harder as I go through time. Now, going deeper into the metabolism, you have this thing called brown adipose tissues, okay? If you've got low brown adipose tissues, you find it hard to burn belly fat because the brown adipose tissues, they decide the rate of which your metabolism will burn calories, okay? That's one of the reasons, okay? You may know somebody who's, say, 50 years old, doesn't diet, doesn't exercise, eats what they want, but they're still slim. That's because one of the reasons could be is that they have a high level of brown adipose tissues, brown fat. Okay, so a lot of these tips I'm going to give you today will be tips to speed up your metabolism. Tip number 1, base your meals on protein. Make sure you've got plenty of protein in your meals. And in particular, your breakfast. Have a protein-rich breakfast. I usually have eggs in the morning for breakfast, and they tend to sustain me until lunchtime, so I don't feel like snacking. If you have a carbohydrate breakfast, sometimes I may have porridge for breakfast. That only lasts me a couple of hours until I'm starting to feel hungry again. The carbohydrates, they tend to burn quite quickly, especially the simple carbohydrates rather than the complex ones, which you can find out on my website all about this. So try and have a protein-rich breakfast, so maybe some eggs, maybe some bacon, something like that, and it will sustain you. Number 2, try and have some more fiber in your diet, things like beans, legumes, salt-free nuts, fruit still with the peel on, okay? Try and have some of those in your diet as well to get that fiber in there. Tip number 3, try not to eat and drink after dinner time, okay? So if you're having dinner, say something like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and come 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you're a little bit hungry and you're really trying not to go into the fridge to have a snack, you find it really difficult. Maybe have your dinner about 6 o'clock, and then you might not feel like snacking a little bit later on in the night. Perhaps get to bed a bit early if you can as well. And try and reduce the alcohol, okay? Alcohol, high in calories, okay? We often drink that at night time, so it's the most unideal time to drink it. So try and reduce that. Tip number 4, drink plenty of water, okay? Perhaps have some water, pint of water before a meal. Certainly have a pint of water when you get up in the morning, but drink plenty of water. You should be aiming at least 5 pints of water a day, okay? And what it will do, it will help to flush out all the waste in your body, okay? It'll flush out some of that fat as well, or get some of that fat flushed out. Tip number 5, try some weight loss drinks. I sometimes have some weight loss drinks. There's some recipes, there'll be a link in the description below, okay, where you can go to my site and you can find the blog to this video. I'll leave the link there so you can get some recipes for that. There's a dark chocolate banana nut smoothie, okay, there's another smoothie on there which I think is really, really nice too. An avocado berry smoothie. Try and reduce your cortisol levels as well, okay? This is number 6. Your cortisol is developed by the amount of stress. The more cortisol you have usually means you've got more stress in your life, okay? So try and reduce that as well, and that will start to get rid of the belly fat, all right? Tip number 7, now, try and have just more meals with less calories, okay? Typically, I'll have 3 meals a day, but sometimes I like to stretch it out, maybe have 5 meals a day, and reduce the amount on my plate as well, and that just keeps me sustained. It stops me from snacking, stops me from eating as well. And you'll generally find when you eat and you start to feel full, okay, normally if I eat something and I start to feel full, okay, I've overeaten, okay. If you eat an amount on your plate and you don't think it's a great deal, and then if you stopped eating and waited 10 minutes, you'll start to feel full. It takes time for your belly to tell your brain that you're full. Tip number 8, this is a big one for me, okay? Reduce the amount of sugar in your diet. Typically something that's made of sugar, okay, that's got a lot of sugar content in it, so all the stuff that we really like, you know, the jelly donuts and the biscuits and the cake and stuff, that very, very quickly will turn to fat. Basically, you'll eat it, okay, it'll turn to, your blood sugar levels will skyrocket all of a sudden, and your body doesn't know what to do with it because you're not burning it off, okay? Maybe you sat down, you're at work, and then it'll just start to store it as fat. And there it goes, round the belly. Sugar is a massive one, and simple carbohydrates too. Your white breads and your white rice, you know, your flour-based products, your pastries and everything, okay? They very, very quickly they spike your blood sugar levels, and if you don't burn it off, it's got to go somewhere, and it will store it as fat. It'll keep it as a reserve for later on, and obviously later on we're not burning it off, so it stays there and it starts to get bigger and bigger. So try and reduce the amount of sugar and simple carbohydrates in your diet. Tip number 9, okay, I never said there was much physical activity in these top 10 tips, and there isn't. I'm not going to give you some kind of exercise plan to go and do, but just try and increase your physical activity. I find that walking, if you can set a target, you know, maybe 5,000 steps a day, maybe up it to 10, just set the goals very gradually, don't try and do too much, you know, within a short period of time. Just increase your physical activity, and if you're really feeling really energetic, try some calisthenics, okay? Calisthenics are brilliant because they're functional strength training exercises, which means they incorporate more than one muscle group at any one time. So the high calorie burners, okay, like press ups, that's the high calorie burner. If you do tricep dips at the side of your bed, really high calorie burner. If you can manage like a 10-minute Tabata or an AMRAP and as many rounds as possible, you know, for 10 minutes or something like that. If you can spare that in your day, that's really going to start burning the calories off. Maybe you burn off those sandwiches you had 2 hours ago just by doing 10 minutes. So it's really worth trying. Walking is probably the easiest thing to do if you've got the time. Tip number 10, try and speed up your metabolism. Okay, some of these tips that I've given you will speed up your metabolism. Certainly doing a bit more exercise will speed up your metabolism. Remember the brown adipose tissues, the brown fat I talked about earlier, okay? We want to get more of that working because that will decide the rate of which our metabolism burns those calories, okay? So try and do that. If you can sleep, I mean, there's another way you can actually speed up your metabolism, and that's by sleeping in a cooler temperature. So if you had a cool bedroom, your body starts to generate more heat, which burns more calories and will help you lose that belly fat, okay? Obviously you don't want it freezing, otherwise you won't get a good night's sleep. You'll be more tired than anything else, all right? And you can also try natural supplements. There's lots of natural supplements out there. There's loads of weight loss supplements, okay? And it's a bit of a minefield, if I'm honest, okay? I've looked at a lot of these supplements. A lot of them aren't FDA registered. That's the Food and Drugs Administration. So they're not monitored, and it's just charlatans trying to sell you a weight loss pill that doesn't actually work. There's one or two that are quite decent out there. There might be one on my website, okay? Exipure, I think it's called. But you can check that out, see if that's for you. That's completely herbal, seems to be getting raving reviews at the moment. So I'll leave the link below, guys, okay? If you want to click on the link down there, and it'll take you to my website and give you a reminder about all of these tips that I've got. It's on my computer, that's why I'm pointing over there, okay? Lots of tips on there, and there's other blogs about losing underarm fat, about your bum as well, and lots of targeted exercises and other kinds of tips for you to be able to get the correct weight that you want and get the right shape that you want. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe this video, please, if you did like it, and come back for more as well. Subscribe. Thanks for watching.